favourite colour, buff titanium, in the these are all oil colours I'm using today. I'm working in some oils. I'll tell you what I've been doing this morning. I've had a very busy day today. I've been out on my morning exercise and I took with me the paints, and I've had a very productive day. Now, this morning, anybody watching yesterday, hands up, were you watching yesterday? And I was painting daffodils. Right, I've got the painting somewhere, just a minute. Where did I put it? I've put this somewhere. Ah, here we go. Hang on. That's what I was painting yesterday. And I painted it in the studio. Do you remember? Okay, because I'd been out yesterday morning and on my little bit of exercise, just roughly about 200 metres from where I live, I did that watercolour. So watercolour, daffodils, skeletal trees, and acrylic painting yesterday. This morning I was out on my little bit of exercise, took the paints again, had another go. Now look at that. Isn't that interesting? Because they are the same subject, roughly 24 hours apart, and yet they look so different. Look, this is quite difficult to see this in all the detail, but let me show you close up. That's yesterday in the studio with the acrylics. That's today on location with the acrylics. And I'm amazed when I came back and saw the difference in the sky, in the daffs. How did that happen? That's what happened yesterday and today. Anyway, 1st of April, and the daffs are just magnificent. They're in full bloom, looking really good. And I've never painted anything, but you make me feel like I could paint, Tom. Good. Get some paints, have a go. You'll be amazed at how different it'll make you feel. It'll be good for you. Have a little go. It's not that difficult. So 1st of April, and the daffodils are out and they're looking really good, but boy is it cold. Are you cold? Anybody else really cold today? Which is so odd, because last week we were basking in beautiful blue skies for our lockdown, and everybody was going, well, if we're going to have spring like this and weather like this, that's fine, because you know, it makes you smile when the sun's shining. And now here we are a week later, and it's perishingly cold, but still startlingly beautiful. Now this morning, first thing, when I went out, there was a blue sky and strong shadows, and then as the hour wore on, it went colder and colder. The sky came over greyer, and I was thinking, whoa, this is different. Anyway, so we're not painting outside today. It's a definite inside the studio. And this time last week, I was having a go at these daffodils, which are in an avenue, and they're still out. So they're still looking good. And I've been looking at this painting and I've been thinking about it. You never sign off a painting for a while until you're absolutely certainly. And I've been looking at it and I've been thinking, what's the matter with it? Well, yesterday I had a little go at this tree here, which was leaning over. It was poking out of the picture. So I've moved it into the image. It never looks quite right to have the tree sitting right on the very edge. It needs to either come in or be more cut out, but it feels good like that. And I've got my line of daffodils going across into the distance, but can't quite work out what it is, why I'm not happy with this image. So I'll show you from my prep photos. You remember, it's easy to have a sketchbook with you. You can always have a sketchbook because you've got your phone with you. So when I went out and took these photos of this image, now let me see if I can find it. I'll find it in just a second. It's there, it's not there. No, I'm looking on the wrong day. There it is. This will show you what the issue is. Right, you see this? Now tell me, what is the difference with the trees in the photo and the trees on my painting? Can you see any difference? Well, come on, give me some speculation here. Tell me what you think the difference is. All right, I'll give you a little clue. Oops. No, I won't. Yes, I will. The difference is here, is there. You see, as the trees disappear into the distance, they appear to get shorter and stumpier. And this line comes down here because the top of the trees are now there, and where these branches come off much higher on the trees in the foreground, in the background they're right down there. And you go, it's so obvious. So in other words, these branches overhanging here are too high. That is the same height as that. Well, there's very little difference. So these branches need to come in here and here, and I need to push those trees back in the distance. I need to just push them back. How do you push them back? Well, you get the paintbrush out and you have a little go. So let me mix something up here, and bit of Naples, buff titanium, alizarin crimson, that red, I really like that alizarin crimson. A little bit of the blue, that makes it grayer. Okay. Looking at my images again, I'm going to bring these branches in here. Now, just by putting in some darker branches into here, I'm making that more distant, and it's important that it is distant. And I don't have to have massives of detail, just you hint at it. Remember, I've got photos on a screen just off the just in the background there, so I can glance at that. If you see me looking off over there, you think, what am I looking at? What's Mallett looking at? Well, I'm looking at my photos that I took on the day I did the research for this image. So I'm just going to put a little bit of this in. Okay, right, now hints of grey coming across here. Where's that tall blob of grey gone? Oh, I didn't squirt it out, that's why I haven't got it. I'll put it onto here, and that should start to make a difference. Yeah, you paint what you see, not what you know. I use that phrase quite a lot when I'm talking to myself when I'm doing my painting, just to remind myself to sharpen my eyesight and to keep a good lookout at what I'm going to paint and see if that makes a difference. April the 1st today. Yay! April the 1st, April Fool's Day. Anybody get fooled today? I love that gag that went around this morning. There's the Prime Minister and all his lot going, ha ha, gotcha, it's just a gag. I thought that was terrific. That made me laugh. Yeah. So, back in 1985, on Whackaday, I'd gone on air that morning, midweek, and just made a little announcement on TVAM and said, hey, don't forget you need to get your bicycle license, your license for your cycle today. And you can get those from your local police station. Just turn up. They won't mind. They're waiting for you. And they'll give you a free bicycle license. Well, all the kids of Great Britain went dashing off down to their local cop shop to get their bicycle license that they didn't need. And the head of the Metropolitan Police went completely bonkers, absolutely mad, and said, oi, irresponsible. And so Arabella went on Splash, I think it was. I think the show was called Splash. That was on the ITV version of Blue Peter. Do you remember that? ITV had their own version of a kids show called Splash. Yeah. And said it was all a gag, don't worry, you don't need to do it. But it just compounded the joke, and so it happened all over again that afternoon. It was good fun. It was great fun. And it follows on from the one we did in 1978. Hands up who was born in 1978, who was alive. Where BBC Oxford went independent. We ran our homemade adverts. That's a bit better. You see, push the trees back a bit just while we're talking here. It's funny how this thing happens, isn't it? It happens almost without you realising. I'll bring this couple of rags, cut up an old t-shirt. You can tell it's my t-shirt, it's purple. Right, I'll bring this forward. See? Trees disappearing now, aren't they? Bit more of an avenue. Always something more to achieve here. Right, let's have a little look and see what else we've got going on here. Yep. I think I'm going to bring this these branches in. I'm going to add a little bit more to the structure. But April the 1st is a good day. It's a very, very good day of the year, and of course there are a few people who are celebrating birthdays today. One of whom is my good pal Nobby No Level. Nobby! You'll know him, of course, as Chris Evans. Yeah, it's his birthday. Chris Evans' birthday today. And I remember lots of things about April the 1st. 2 years ago, only 2 years ago, I was cycling my Camino de Santiago. You can read about it in Utterly Brilliant, My Life's Journey. It's not always back to front, by the way. Utterly Brilliant, My Life's Journey. That's the book that talks about my cycle ride from home with my paints across 3 European countries. And I remember April the 1st, 2018. I remember lots about it. I started the day in Saints, S-A-I-N-T-S, Saints. And I did a little watercolour that morning. That's it. Little watercolour in the cafe. Okay, now look at this closely. Two blokes deep in conversation. Over here, mum and a little baby on her lap. The curly chairs. The detail of this stool that he's sitting on. These two blokes are very comfortable with each other. You can see it in the shape of the shoulders, the way they're chatting to each other. They're at peace with the world, even though this little child was going, wah, wah. I remember this because I painted this picture. I remember that cup of coffee, that little snack. Now, if I hadn't done that picture, would I remember that coffee shop? No, I wouldn't. But I remember this. I remember looking at them as I painted them and thinking, this is interesting. Take time to absorb who's in the room with you, in the space. And there's the bloke behind the bar. Of course, bars in France, serving at any time of the day. Right. I cycled that afternoon. April the 1st, 2018 was a Sunday, and it was Easter Day. Yeah, we're still 12 days away from Easter this year. Good afternoon, Mark. Nice to have your company in Bourne End. Yeah! And later on that afternoon, I stopped in a couple of little places, one called Saint Leger, Saint Leger. And all I could think of was the horse racing. And the next village along was called Pons, and in Pons there's a great big castle here, and this impressive box hedging which is almost as big as the castle. You could see no leaves on the trees, skeletal trees again. Always liked it, always enjoyed these. And I remember sitting there that afternoon looking at it and thinking, yeah, in 2 weeks' time there's going to be leaves on these trees and it's going to look quite different. Yeah, everything changes. It changes every day, and particularly during springtime. Good afternoon, Kim. Nice to have your company. Now, where are you watching this afternoon? If you're watching wherever it is, tell me where you are. I'm interested. I'd like to know. I'd like to know where we're having this little chat. And I remember every painting I did along that Camino. So I would stop whenever I could, whenever I was inspired, and get out either the watercolours or the acrylics and paint something. And some of those paintings, you'll be very pleased to know, some of those paintings have gone into prints. And today is my good friend Margaret Murphy's birthday. Nice to have your company in Barry in South Wales. Margaret Murphy, a good friend of mine, and her husband Sean sent me an email 2 days ago. 2 days ago, saying, Timmy, you gotta help me. I said, why, what's the matter? He said, it's Margaret's birthday on Sunday, and if I don't have a birthday present for her, I am gonna be dead. Right. It didn't help that all the way through the conversation, because I rang him up after I got the email, because I know Sean, all the way through the conversation, he was coughing. I said, "Are you all right?" He said, "Yeah, apart from I've got this slight cough thing." I said, "Slight cough? Isn't that the sign of something serious?" He said, "Yeah, it is, but I'm still alive. But I won't be if I don't have a birthday present for Margaret." I love this. Here's dear old Sean, who's coughing like crazy, and you know, is he seriously poorly? But he's more concerned with getting a birthday present for Margaret. And I said, "How can I help?" He said, "Got to have her favourite print from your Camino collection." And she's been looking at it and going, "Oh, I really, really, really want it. Really, really, really want it. Oh." And he said, "Oh, right. So when's the birthday?" says me. He said, "Wednesday." Wednesday? I said, "This is Monday evening and you want it on Wednesday?" "Yeah, I do. So do you think you could possibly, you know, can I buy the print from you, a mounted print?" I said, "Yes, you can." So wrapped it all up and dispatched it yesterday, and I got my call from him today going, "I'm still alive. It arrived today," and she's absolutely ecstatic. And it was lovely. Even sent me a photo. I'll show you the photo because I thought that was really sweet. When you get a photo of somebody excited because they've got their print. Now I put it somewhere safe. Where is it? It's in the albums. Blah 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 blah. Let me show you the picture because it's a good one. It's worth seeing. It'll be in Pic's email. Okay, well I'll just open up the email then. That will be easier still, won't it? Because it's a lovely picture. Ah, there she is. That's it. There's Margaret with her print, yeah, which arrived today for her birthday. This is the print of the Santiago skyline. I'll show you what it looks like. Santiago skyline, this is the print. And it comes beautifully mounted, double mounted. Looks absolutely fabulous, and I painted this in Santiago de Compostela the day I arrived into the town with acrylic paints in the beautiful park that was pointed out to me, and the pictures come up beautifully as a print. So you can have a print like this as well. There's a set of them, and they are Mallett's Pallette. .co.uk. Go to mallettspallette.co.uk, and that's where the Camino prints are, and you know, you can get it the day after you've ordered it. So if you've got a birthday coming up and you're looking for something special, or you want to celebrate for Easter or something like that, well, mallettspallette.co.uk, a nice affordable print. Can't send them out framed at the moment because getting them framed, as you can imagine, it's a little tricky right now, but having them beautifully mounted and all signed, numbered and named. They're in a limited edition, these, and the limited edition is just 50. So they are very, very special and collectible. So that gives you an opportunity now to have a piece of Mallett art on your wall, delivered when you like, as soon as you like. Okay, mallettspallette.co.uk, you can buy nice and securely, have it delivered online. Perfect. Right, and happy birthday to Margaret. I'll show you a couple of the other ones. Yeah, Camino morning. That's beautiful colours. The glories of Spain in springtime. This one here. The bike. Me, the bike, and a distant township. It's called In the Moment. That's talking about the joy of the here and now of living, being in the moment. And this one, Don Quixote! Yeah! What a great name! Oh, it's fun. I'll talk about this one in the book, Utterly Brilliant, My Life's Journey, and about the bloke and his donkey taking it on the pilgrimage to Santiago de Compostela. And there's a good fun story in there. I love that. By the way, that spring blossom that you can see there, that cherry blossom, that's about a week away from being in bloom. Remember this, we're in springtime, and every day there's something different. There's something different to look forward to and to enjoy. And I love the fact that, you know, this cold weather has just paused things, because I was getting slightly concerned that next week we'd have the what do you call them, the bluebells out, but actually I think we're another 10 days or so away from the bluebells coming out, and they will be perfect for later in April. And every part of the country has gorgeous views of bluebell woods, and you're going to send me pictures of your favourite bluebell wood, and if you're lucky I might paint it. Yeah, because I like doing that. I like seeing the inspiration that's come from my viewers, and maybe, just maybe, there'll be an opportunity to paint something of yours. Right, just a minute. Aha, right, so yeah, let's get some of that, a little bit of that greenery, just a hint in there. Right, okay, this is looking good, this is looking better. And now then, you're wondering why I'm putting more colours on when I've already done this. And that's because I've been looking at it and thinking there's more to be seen here. There's more colour and texture and shape and stuff. And I like revisiting it. I don't want to say this is definitely done yet, because it isn't. It's not done. It's not finished. There's lots more to see and to enjoy. I'm getting some of the stems from the daffodils in here. You see? You bring it forward and you'll have a little look-see. Yeah? A little bit of that going on. Yeah, okay. Yep. Yeah. Now, yesterday afternoon, somebody I know quite well said, oh, Timmy, I've been reading your book and enjoying the fact that you like jigsaw puzzles. I do, really. I'm one of those who gets a lot of pleasure out of the logic of a jigsaw puzzle. And she said, because I've got these homemade puzzles that my aunt made. What? What do you mean your aunt made? Oh, well, she got these pictures, and with a fret saw cut out weird shapes, so there's no picture to follow, and none of the shapes help you because they're all individual little weird shapes, and it's a homemade jigsaw. She said, I'll start you on this. It's 80 pieces. 80 pieces. I scoffed, because, you know, 80 pieces is a sort of puzzle you can do in half an hour. Just, it's easy. Oh no, not this one. Oh my goodness me, it took me ages last night. It was a real puzzler. And I thought, this is good. Because, you know, what normally happens is, when Mrs. Mallett's out at the shops, she'll go into a charity shop and she'll come back with a 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzle. There you go, Mally, have a go at that. It's exciting life at the Mallett household, isn't it? A jigsaw puzzle, 1,000 pieces. Yeah, well, you know, I can do those, and I quite like a 1,000-piece puzzle. What does it take me? I don't know, less than a week. But none of those charity shops are open there, so getting hold of new puzzles. I haven't got time to go through online and look for loads of different things. I'm busy. I'm a busy man painting the arrival of spring. That's it. That's what I wanted. That's what I was thinking about. There, a little dollop of colour. Yeah. Okay. You're not going to see me for a little moment or two because I'm standing up. I stand up when I'm painting because I can see easier. I can see it better. I know what I'm looking for. And it gives me a bit more energy in what I'm doing. Oh, did anybody watch last night when I was on Channel 5 News? Did you see me on Channel 5 News talking about nutty ideas to help the charity sector? Because the charity sector is worried sick that nobody is doing things to raise money. And so there was this rather serious chappie online saying, oh, times are tough and we're not getting money raised for charity. So they called in Timmy and said, give us some ideas of nutty things to do. So if you have a look at the Channel 5 News report, they've shared it online. I think it's on Insta and on Twitter and probably on Facebook as well. It's on all of those things. So there's me saying, well, why don't you have a go in April at doing a different challenge every day? And here's one you can do at home. It's called Climbing Everest Up Your Stairs. And the way you do this is you work out how far it is from the ground floor to your landing. Probably roughly about 2.5 meters is what it'll be. My house is 17 steps with a riser before it goes up onto the landing. So I reckon about 20 seconds to go up and down. 2.5 meters, right, okay. If you were going to climb Everest, that's 8,048 meters. So roughly 20 seconds for 2.5 meters, that means it's going to take somewhere in the region of around about 20 hours. 20 hours going up and down the stairs to climb Everest. Hey kids, I've got a really great idea. Why don't you climb Everest up and down your stairs for the next squillion whatever it's going to take. Oh, I think that's fantastic. I'm dying to see if anybody's going to do it. So I put the idea out there yesterday and instantly there were people saying, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it, I'm going to climb Everest up my stairs. So I'm dying to see if anybody's actually going to manage it. So do let me know if you managed to have a go at climbing Everest. Up your stairs, what a great thing to do. What a great idea. There are loads of good ideas of things that you can do while we are in this period of being stuck at home. What can you do? What other things are there? My cousin Katie, hello Katie, and her nutty boys. 3 nutty boys who are loud and aged 11 and 12 and crikey. So last weekend they did a time capsule. A time capsule and buried it in the garden. If you've got a dog, the dog will probably dig up your time capsule. But good fun, huh? Jeff, greetings. Might take my wife in as my Sherpa. What a good idea. Yes, get Mrs. Phone, Jeff, to carry all the food and snacks upstairs to the bedroom, and then all the rubbish downstairs again. Oh, and all the laundry up and down, and away you go. You'll have a good time doing that. Your Sherpa. Mrs., can you be my Sherpa? Can you imagine? Oh, I love the idea. So that was one of them. And the other idea I suggested was homemade haircuts. You know this, did you see the story the other week about the bloke who had tried to run a marathon around his garden? Well, it just prompted me on a number of things. Something Mrs. Mallett said the other day. She said, she got up in the morning, she said, oh, my hair. I said, what's the matter? She said, oh, I want the hairdressers. I want to go to the hairdressers, but I'm not sure they're open, you know. They're not essential services. I said, aren't they? I thought hairdressers were essential services. She said, oh, I'm not sure. I said, well, don't worry, darling. I'll cut your hair. Ah! She gave me that look. You know that look? Ah! What, you don't like the idea of me cutting your hair? No, thank you, she said. No, thank you. But it did make me think that you could actually do a charitable haircut of all your family. Could be quite interesting doing that. The charitable haircut of your entire family. Right, how do you do that? Well, you get a pudding basin. Your grandma used to do this. Your grandma used to do this to your mum or your dad. And she would get a pudding basin and do a homemade haircut. Great. Okay, so get the pudding basin out and see how it would look. Yeah, but what can you do? You can't everybody have a pudding basin haircut. No, I mean for the dad in your family, I wonder if you could ask him, could he collect what he shaves every morning? Well, that will work if it's a dry shave, you know, with an electric razor. Of course, if it's a wet shave, it'll be rather mucky and messy, but it's not a bad idea. Collect the hair, okay, and then when your mum shaves her legs, I dare you. Mum, you shaved your legs today? Yes, dear, why? Can I have the shaving bits? Yeah, that'll go down well. Let's see how you get on with that one. See if you get any food for the rest of your life. Right. And you collect that, and then the hair that you get off the dog when you brush the dog, and with all those bits of hair, you could stuff a cushion. You could stuff a hairy cushion. And then what do you do with it? I haven't got any further than that, actually. I haven't quite worked out what else you would do with it. Yeah, well, that's why when Channel 5 needed somebody to come up with a nutty idea, they called me. I said, is that nutty enough for you? They said, it's exactly what we were looking for, Timmy. Thank you very much. And you can see the report if you go to Channel 5 News. And there's me grinning away, coming up with these bonkers ideas. Yeah, good fun. Right. The other thing you could do, you know how if you're going to do a sponsored whatever, sponsored bit of exercise, if you had a trampoline, you could do a sponsored bounce on the trampoline, couldn't you? A sponsored bounce on the trampoline. Now, the Mallets have a trampoline, and my trampoline is very useful in the summer, in the height of summer, because if it's too hot to sleep indoors, I sleep out on the trampoline, and I quite like it. Right. But imagine doing a sponsored bounce on the trampoline like this. Yeah, should we do it again? What do you think? Would you sponsor me to bounce on the trampoline? Yeah! I thought you would. So, just giving you ideas, little things to think about. Of course, it becomes rather difficult if you haven't got a trampoline. It'd be quite fun though, wouldn't it, to phone the neighbour and say, "Neighbour, do you mind staying indoors while I bounce on your trampoline?" Would that work? I don't know. Let's see. Right. I'm getting some more daffodils into here. Now, the interesting thing is, in the middle of the daffodil flower, there's some nice orange bits. So I'm going to put a little bit of orange into there. Yep, in the middle of the white flower. Now, I've added quite a bit today to that horizon over there, and I'm going to stop on this one. I'm going to move over to the next painting now that I started the other day. And that's this one. Okay. Right, I'm going to do some work on here now. So, tell me how this comes out for you. This is what I've got in mind. Bit of white needed. I'll do some more to this sky. Now this is how many paintings occur. They occur in bits as you're going. So this was from an image that I got a couple of weeks ago on my bike ride through the Chilterns to Brill Windmill, and it was a beautiful day, again cold, a bit like today, and I thought, that's got to be a painting. Now you'll see that I'm doing dobs of colour, dollops, and the reason for that is I like it. I like doing dobs of colour. I like the build-up that happens as you go through. Yeah. Oh, I'll put in a little bit of cobalt turquoise. Oh, that'll be nice. You'll see what happens here when I put this colour in. Hey, anybody seen that thing online with Gary Barlow and Jason Donovan doing their little duet? Clever little duet, I like that. It's a nice idea. So they're doing Too Many Broken Hearts together. And cleverly done. I like what this is doing for people who are just stuck at home, can't go out. How do we stay in touch with people? How do we be creative? And there are lots of ways of doing it. It's nice to see people having a go at all that. So I'm impressed with it all. Last night, got to the end of the day and tootled off to bed, and Mrs. Mallett was lying there listening to me read the audio book of Utterly Brilliant, My Life's Journey. It was really weird to walk into the room and hear myself. It's like, oh, hello, what's going on there? Got another chappie in here? Oh, it's me. Oh, that's interesting. But it was quite a revelation, because listening to an audio book as opposed to reading it gives you quite a different feel to it. Of course, what you don't get is you don't get the pictures, the illustrations that I've done. Every chapter has its set of illustrations. You don't get that, but you do get my voice, so you do get me telling you about each of the days and the adventures. I was saying at the beginning of this hour that, you know, today's April the 1st, and I remember April the 1st 2 years ago. I remember so much about that. I remember at the end of the day searching for my accommodation, and it was down the Rue of Three Windmills, and I was meeting Fabien and Bernard. So I rang up Fabien and said, "Bonjour Fabien, Timmy ici." She goes, "Ah, blah, 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 blah," which I guess was French for "hello, nice to meet you." Are you following this? Good. And she said, which translates as turn left, turn right, go down here, go down there. And I could not find her place at all. I just had real difficulty. So after half an hour, I went back to the village, back to the shops, and I went in there and I said, "The Rue of Three Windmills, où est là? Ah, bo 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 bo, la la, bo 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 bo, yon, la la la, blah 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 blah," which was very helpful, interesting directions. So I went back again, thinking, "Oh crikey, am I ever going to find this place?" And lo and behold, walking down the lane was a woman on her own. She said, "Timmy, is that you, Timmy?" I said, "Is that you, Fabien?" She said, "Oui, oui, oui, oui." So she said, "Here we go." She said, "I've come to find you." And you know what? She walked me to her house, which was 1 kilometre away. It was such a... wow. She'd gone to a lot of trouble and effort to find me and to bring me to the accommodation where I stayed that night. It was a lovely, lovely place they had. Beautiful old place with a nice annex, actually, which is where I was. I was in the annex, and that night they fed me and a bottle of wine and a lovely conversation in franglais, and it was so joyous. And she said, in the morning, she said, "Eh bien, I am going to work. Leave when you feel like it and put the key under the mat." This trusting attitude to leave the key under the mat, I thought that was fantastic. And so I did a little watercolour sketch of the view from her window across the garden to the chateau just down the end of the Rue of Three Windmills, and I left it there on the in the flat. It was just such a nice episode, and I'm thinking to myself, you know, I may never ever come across Fabienne Bernard again. It might just be that was the one time in my entire life I ever get to meet them. Might not be. You know, we may come across each other again. Never say never. But you don't know, do you? You don't know whether that's it. That's the one time. And it's such a lovely meeting and episode with them that I'm just thrilled at the way that happened. Now then, you've been watching this as I've been working away and talking at you. What do you think? Is it anything happening here? Are we getting anywhere? We're looking across here now to the Cotswolds. I'm putting in a little bit of bright purple. Now the bright purple just gives you that nice hazy look. I'm going to mix a bit of that purple into the sky here. And the reason for that is that colours can do different jobs depending on where they are in the picture. You can hear how the brush is going, that I'm almost scrubbing into it, and the sails haven't gone in yet. No, the sails haven't gone in. They will do. What do you think? Any good yet? I'll bring it forward and we'll have a little look. The sky's coming on nicely here, isn't it? See those? Those are my spare paintbrushes. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, lovely. Now a little bit of that highlighted cobalt turquoise into here, which is my distant horizon across the plateau of Buckinghamshire and Oxfordshire. I am not bothering with the image, you know, the photo image on my, because it doesn't actually matter. You know, as soon as I went to do this green here, I could hear a thousand voices going, "Oh, Mallett, go on, put the windmill in, do something with the sails, go on, please." And I could just hear you. I know what you like. I know what you like. But not going to. Going to wait a minute. Matt Paris, hello. Greetings. Thanks for that. And Michael Brooks, hello. Anybody else watching live? Tell me where you're from and what you're thinking. This is about painting the arrival of spring. And there will be a set of images from this lockdown. This is going to be one of those springtimes that we will all remember forever. Anybody keeping a diary? I am. It's a good thing to do, keep a diary. Just about the people you speak to, or the little episodes that happen. You could put in, you know, watch Timmy talking to himself today, and waited to see if anything was going to come alive in the painting, or whether he was ever going to get around to the sails, and I couldn't persuade him to have a go. Brush is looking a bit messy there, just tidy that up. Right. There's lots more of my paintings, by the way, on Mallett's Pallette. That's my Mallett Art website. Only just spotted the bike in the foreground, Timmy. Thank you. Yes, there's a little hint down here. Do you see that? It's just blocked in at the moment, and I haven't decided how detailed that's going to be. There will be more. Susan Crook, loving the sky in this painting. Thanks, Susan. Yeah, the spring skies are really powerful at the moment. Kate Entwistle. Hello, Kate in Cornwall here. Don't think my knees could climb the Everest. I'm only 38, but I got knees of 80 years old. All right, my lover. Stay away from them there grockles. Oh, thou a janner. What's he talking about? It's Cornish, my lover. It's what they say down in Cornwall. Give me a pasty. Give me another pasty. It's what I want. Lovely. All right, you'll get a pasty. You'll get a pasty. And we'll give you a pasty. I like Cornwall. My brother lives in Cornwall. My big brother Paul lives near Lawney. And he's been down there for a good few years. He's a great artist, by the way. Look up Paul Mallett on Facebook. And his paintings are terrific. He paints really nice images of the beautiful West Country, and it's terrific what he does. So, right, that's the lump it's sitting on. Now there's an interesting bit of backlighting here. It's odd. It's the sort of the backside, if you like, of the windmill, because it's facing away from us, so you need to see that little bit, and it's just a tiny bit of shade on there that says it's there's a bit of light on it. And there's also a bit of light down the front down here. Okay, and there'll be some steps going in there shortly. Right, okay, let's get some of these sails in. Let's get these sails! Sails, my lover! Right then, my janner! There's various things I'm going to remind you about here, though, while you're looking at this. When we finish this, you can go and have a look at more of my art at malletspallette.co.uk, where the prints are available from my Camino, the limited edition prints. I'm not selling the originals yet, and the reason for that is I'm going to do an exhibition of them. That will definitely happen. When? Well, not during this lockdown, it won't. It will happen in due course. But the prints are available. And they're available now. You can have them even during this period, which is really good. So if you've got a birthday, or you want to looking for a present for Easter or something, well, I'm going to highly recommend my own work. I'm going to say you can't go past getting a piece of mallet art on your wall, and you can buy it today from malletspallette.co.uk. I'm also going to remind you about my book, which is utterly brilliant, My Life's Journey, and it talks about cycling a big adventure on my own. And in some ways, you know, cycling that adventure on my own is a little bit like this, a bit like this, because I'm here on my own in the studio, but I know you're watching. And it's lovely to have your company. It's not as if we're physically together. It's just technologically have been together like this. Thank you, Rob, for your nice comment. Impressed with your skill and talent, sir. Well, that's very kind of you. That's very kind indeed. And so company is done in different ways. And the thing with this particular period we're in at the moment is that we're doing much more caring about each other and being in contact with each other. My phone's been going ping 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 with WhatsApps and messages and stuff like that. I'll bring this forward so you can see where I'm up to. There's a wedding anniversary today. The Sykes family have their 8th wedding anniversary, so congratulations to Ian and Susie. I hope you're having a good day. You know, although you can't go out and celebrate out, there's all sorts of ways you can celebrate in. So I'll encourage you to do that and to say, hope it's a great anniversary. 8 years married. Woo! I'll tell you about my wedding day, our wedding day. Okay, it was Saturday, 8th of September 1990. 30 years ago this year. And around about this time of year, April, May, might have been June. No, it wasn't June, it was April. Around about April we were thinking, where should we get married? Thinking about the venue and all that sort of stuff, and discussing it. Without any realisation of what the summer of 1990 was going to bring. That feeling that in April we said, let's get married, and we'll get married in September. But no understanding of how different Mallett life would be by the time we got to September. And that difference would happen because of a phone call I got in May. Come for tea at Andrew Lloyd Webber's house. You can find out more about what happened at that tea when you read Utterly Brilliant My Life's Journey. Yes. But it led, of course, to Itsy Bitsy, Teeny Weeny, Yellow Polka Dot Bikini. That she wore for the first time today. Oh yeah! #1 around the world. And #1 on our wedding day. How about that, eh? How about that? #1 on the day we got married. You know, I don't think there are very many pop stars who can say, I was #1 in the charts on the day we got married. I remember the organist playing it as she walked down the aisle. Yeah! Brilliant! Oh, it makes me smile, it makes me chuckle. So, what was #1 on our wedding day? I was! Think about that, hey? Nice, isn't it? Right, let's get this bike in. Let's block a bit more of this bike in, because well spotted by Jeff Phone. Jeff, who runs a brilliant printing company, very busy actually at the moment, I'm pleased to say. I spoke to Jeff earlier in the week and he said, yeah, life is extremely busy in the catering industry. He does a lot of printing for caterers. Right, we're getting this silhouette of the bike in. It's a silhouette because yeah. Now, interestingly, when you put a bike in like this, this is coming in nicely here. Oh, it's 4:15. I've been going for ages here. We should probably, do you think we should wrap this up now? Yeah, probably. I'll probably wrap this up shortly and come back to it. Come back to more of this art tomorrow. But we're getting somewhere now, aren't we? You know, it's my bike. Now, what I'm doing here, interestingly, is I've got this line here of the bike and it points at the windmill. So I'm using the shadow of the windmill here and the bike to lead your eye into the central part of this image. Right, I'm putting some darker greens into there, and then contrast it with some brighter, lighter greens, and a little bit of that what's it called? Naples yellow ochre. Yeah, buff titanium, mix a bit of that in there. Ah, yeah, that's right. I'm going to put in a little bit of this darker green just here, which is the shadow of that. Now, what have we got here? Ah, you've checked out the book on Audible yesterday. 11 Hours of Timmy, highly recommended. Thank you very much. Glad you're enjoying it. Yeah, it's a good story, well read by somebody I know, me. And as I said, when I walked in yesterday, Mrs. Mallett had the CD playing. When we went to bed, it was lovely. I listened to myself. Don't you talk enough, Mallett? Yeah, I probably do. Now, when I'm painting these things, I'm not putting in the exact shape of everything. I don't need to put in the exact shape of everything. I put in blocks of colour, and the contrast of all those different colours will be mixed together in your head, and your eyes do quite a lot of the work here. And it's a very clever thing, an optical illusion, that when you do painting, when you paint like this, you don't need to put everything in. You let the viewer do some of the work. And I don't mean by that you get the brush out and have a go. I just mean that your eyes interpret what I'm painting. Now, have you seen me looking at a drawing or a photo at all during this? No, you haven't. And I'm not doing, because I know what it looks like. And I'm quite comfortable with that. Now, this has come on dramatically in about 40 minutes. So it's moved from being just a blocked in painting, blocked in, to suddenly having a bit of structure and purpose to it. And I'm pleased with that. That's what it was meant to do. You know what I've not seen this afternoon? A cup of tea. Could have done with a cup of tea. I did consider putting a kettle into my studio, but if I did that, I'd have no reason ever to leave here. I'd find it I was always in here, and sometimes you need a little bit of a break to go and have a wander off and look at something else. I'm just going to, the only bit I haven't touched today is that. I'm going to come back in a second. Right, that's feeling better. Bit of that purpley stuff now, bit of purpley blue. That's to give you a hint of something over on the other side of the valley. Right, now where's that pink gone? Ah, a bit short of pink. I'll mix a bit. Yeah, getting there. Getting there. Now, I'm going to stop here. I'm going to say that's enough for today. Thank you very much for watching. I hope I haven't bored you. I've enjoyed your company. It's been a great pleasure. Remember, prints are available at malletspallette.co.uk, and they look something like this. That Don Quixote! Camino Meadow. In the Moment. Santiago Skyline. So, they're available. You can buy them beautifully mounted from malletspallette.co.uk. And for some good reading tonight, you need Timmy Mallett. Utterly Brilliant, My Life's Journey. Okay? Inside, a pink map and pictures throughout. You'll enjoy. This is Timmy Mallett saying thanks for watching. Ta-da. See you tomorrow. Blah.